Alrighty, hello and welcome. Good morning, Dino. This is the first actually in a series, a very good streak, now that I mention it. Back-to-back matches that I had, absolutely fantastic. This list that's coming up tonight, you're going to enjoy it. So this is the first of today. I'm going to try and hopefully post a few more. But this is the first in the streak, and boy, is it a good one. My goodness. Certainly that first hand there was not going to cut it, but definitely 4 lands, Maraudings, and Shifting. Certainly sending the mountain to the bottom makes sense. I want to make sure, again, I'm nicely padded with the sources of green for Shifting Ceratops. That does require 2. Potentially I could be seeing Ripjaw Raptor as well. Certainly lean more towards the green side of things. Oh. White. I thought it could be mono white, could be humans. But it does turn out to be Azorius control, which is... excuse me. I even had a nap tonight at the time of recording. Or had a nap this afternoon a little bit. I am tired though. Excuse me. I'm a little bit tired from those demolition videos. If you guys haven't got a chance to check them out, definitely do so. Of course, you know, there is the sensor. It's one less sensor that they have. At some point I was probably going to be casting things for the full mana that I have, or not have any left over. And certainly I felt safe to go Marauding Raptor just because I had the 2 on the off chance that they had a sensor. I'll try one out. Gets it burnt and out of their hand. Hopefully no way to deal with this marauding. It's going to be pretty tough if I don't draw a 3rd land, or a 4th land I should say. Oh, and they left him alive and we drew the land, so we're certainly off to the races. Playing it safe, going Shifting Ceratops. I felt pretty good chance they also had some sort of counter spell, so just get Shifting down, able to give it haste, attacking with Marauding and Shifting. Hoping, of course, that there is no Settle the Wreckage, but I felt, well, probably not. Settle the Wreckage in general, I think, is maybe more of a sideboard card. It comes in on game 2 and 3. They might have 1 or 2 to start off with, but I feel, yeah, for the most part, Settle the Wreckage is game 2 and game 3 stuff. Wandering Emperor, I mean, that's a given, has to happen at some point. Anytime they have mana on tap, they have a bunch of cards in hand, of course. There's such a good chance they have something. We might as well play something. Again, if you play safe and you play scared and you play slow against Azorius control or some deck similar to that, it's probably not going to go so well. They're going to build up as, well, an insurmountable advantage with Teferi, that sort of thing. It's a rough time. Play the stuff, get them to burn it. Hopefully you have plenty of threats that they run out of answers, removal, counter spells, sweepers, potentially if you have lots of hasty guys to recover and continue up the pressure. And certainly Charging Monstrosaur and Carnage Tyrant, pretty good for pressure. Oh, man, Fateful Absence after Fateful Absence is not a pretty sight. And Teferi, our chances are going down. That's for sure. Certainly I want to pressure Teferi. Take him out whenever possible. If ever possible. Sometimes you can't though. It's up to 5. They got a creature to block, but Charging Monstrosaur, haste. Fantastic stuff. Now consider this specific scenario. Actually, I'll pause it for a second here. Just so we can talk about that. Had 5 mana. Say it was Shifting Ceratops instead of Charging Monstrosaur. For 5, yeah, Shifting Ceratops would have had haste. Fantastic. But we wouldn't have also been able to give it trample, getting through that same amount of damage to Teferi. So, I think in this case, certainly Charging Monstrosaur was better than Shifting Ceratops. Now, they did have 2 untapped, could have possibly done something to it, but that was not the case, and we got it done. Haste and trample, just the most fantastic combination. It's hard, though, to recover from a Teferi when they continually draw a card every turn. Usually it's going to get them something nasty. At least they didn't play anything. See if Marauding Raptor can burn something. Excuse me. I would have thought that, you know, they'd probably save some removal for the thing that would come likely after Marauding here. And we're completely tapped out. Yes, completely tapped out. My goodness, this is going well. Hey, I was speaking of Settle the Wreckage, but they really wanted to preserve Teferi. I don't think they would have gone Settle the Wreckage if I had attacked them to the face. Maybe they would have. They would have gone down to 13. I think they still would have been comfortable with that. But they wanted to preserve that Teferi. Absolutely. Who doesn't love drawing a card every turn and untapping 2 lands at the end of turn? That's just a recipe for winning against a lot of decks. But at least we've seen one settle. Where there's one, there's probably more. Certainly I didn't expect it in game 1, but yeah, they probably have 1 or 2 copies, I think. Something like that. Oh, they're getting kind of tapped out. Play it safe. Get the Domri. Protect Regisaur Alpha later on. Well, we have lots of creatures. If they have a Dovin's Veto, certainly they're going to counter one of the few non-creature things that we have. It's a little unfortunate, but it's one less thing that they have in hand. We have a little bit more information as well, which is quite nice. And certainly they want to continue to save Teferi, so they're going to block the Ripjaw, giving us a card, which is still quite nice. Popping the Clue. I'm sure we've all done it, but I oftentimes forget to pop it when it makes sense to do so. I forget to cycle Yadaro, Wandering Monster, anything like that. I know usually it's good to maybe set a stop at the end of their turn just so you don't forget to do something like that. Hold up the mana to potentially fake that you have something nasty. I just play it safe. I'd rather pop the Clue than forget to pop the Clue or something like that. But it feels positive. They're making creatures. Might be a sign that they don't have a sweeper. Potentially could have another set of the Wreckage, of course, but we got a lot of fantastic bodies here. Oh, we're spoiled. That's the one thing I like about this updated list, adding back in Regisaur Alpha, but just having Shifting, Ripjaw. Of course, Ripjaw against a control deck like this usually isn't good. Not so bad when a little token blocks it, of course, but just having tons of bodies, it hasn't felt bad. Cutting the protection with Blossoming Defense or Tameo Safekeeping, I still get the job done. Sometimes in the past I've just had a Blossoming and then I draw another Blossoming where those 2 Blossomings could be creatures instead, and that seems to be doing better. Perhaps I could provide or add protection and have it in the sideboard. That's usually how I like to do it. Something to keep the guys alive, if it makes sense to do so. Definitely nice taking out Teferi here. Oh. Slow them down. They're running out of gas. Fast. And we got the Ripjaw. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh. Something bad. Okay. One less counter spell, and we still got fantastic guys on board. Oh, I forgot to turn on the modes. My goodness. There we go. Regisaur. Get her done. Have some fun. I'm hoping not another settle. I mean, we still get to go Carnage Tyrant. Or, well, we could have gone Carnage Tyrant, I should say. But Charging Monstrosaur. Potential for that. I'll hold off. Want to play it safe, you know, just in case they do some shenanigans here. does not seem to be the case. It's hard to say when to play it safe. We have enough power, plenty of power on board. Don't need to be greedy. Certainly Charging Monstrosaur is fantastic to keep up the pressure. Carnage Tyrant, if they do have a sweeper. It is a very, very sad day when we say goodbye to that guy. So holding those two back, that was good. If I didn't have, you know, maybe Regisaur Alpha on board or Shifting Ceratops, might have been more inclined to play some more bodies. At least Charging Monstrosaur there. Down to 8 though, they gotta do something quick. Oh, we got him. I think we got him. They're desperate. Oh, it's always a lovely time when you see a control deck just desperately digging, looking for something. They put a pause on their untap step just before their draw step, so they're scrying to hopefully get something, a sweeper, most likely, before they draw their card for the turn. Will they find it? Well, make some use out of Brazen Borrower, perhaps. If they attack with Brazen... Well, they should attack with Brazen Borrower because it can't block. Anyways, that's not a really good tell if they have a sweeper. Sell the wreckage. I'm always worried in situations like this. Excuse me. Carnage Tyrant gets the job done again. Playing it safe, holding back Charging Monstrosaur just in case, and being conservative with those guys. So we could have had him, unfortunately, if I had played Charging Monstrosaur, but I still think it's wise to play it safe, just in case. Again, likely, I'm sure it's not a full playset of Settle. I would be very surprised if it was a full playset. Oh, boom. That's how you do it. My goodness, just a ton of bodies, jam-pack them. Who needs to protect your creatures when you just have too many for the opponent to deal with? That's the way you do it. Alrighty. Back at it. Didn't make any sideboard changes there. Want to save time and jump right back into things. Continue to bring the pain, and that right there looks like some lovely stuff indeed. My goodness. Fantastic way to start. As always, lovely to see Commune. We got our Sorcerer, bunch of lands. Oh, they're going to be hurting, I think. And Thunderherd Migration. Yeah, I like that. Sometimes I just decide to go Stomping Ground tapped. I leave Commune with Dinosaurs for a later turn. It is fantastic at any point in the game, absolutely. But playing it safe, double Commune, grabbing a bunch of lands. If they do have a counter spell, probably not using it on Commune. And I couldn't, or I didn't at the time have anything to play turn 3 off of Huntmaster or Thunderherd Migration. So that's why I decided really just to go with double Commune, set up for a nastier later turn, and it's getting nasty. Nasty looking, at least. Exciting stuff. Well, they're holding up removal, an answer, something. Thunderherd Migration, not something you're going to counter, especially because of Commune. They see two nasty bodies. They're more inclined to save a counter or a removal or an answer, whatever, for that stuff, instead of Thunderherd Migration, likely letting it through. If they didn't see anything, perhaps, you know, they may counter it instead, but seeing nasty stuff. So Commune with Dinosaurs, even though it does reveal a dino, it can affect how the opponent plays, could affect in our favor for sure, and allow us an easier time of setup if they're playing scared and saving their answers. They see Huntmaster, they know something nasty next turn is coming down. They see the potential of Huntmaster plus shifting, possibly not accounting for that cost reduction. If they did have a counter spell, definitely it would have made more sense to counter Huntmaster there. Math is hard, perhaps, but yeah, they may just not have an answer. And seeing shifting plus Huntmaster, but Charging Monstrosaur in hand. If they do have a sweeper, they're weighing their options. Do I wait, cast it? They know Charging Monstrosaur is coming down next turn. Haste, trample, going to be applying that fantastic pressure, but if they wait to go their sweeper, that's sorcery speed. I mean, they could be hit with shifting plus charging. So it's a pretty fine line to cross. Definitely makes them play differently, giving them information. I think it's pretty fantastic. Well, keep playing setup. They see a nasty thing. Let's keep going. Nothing really, either Charging Monstrosaur or... Oh, I paused it. Nothing really between Charging Monstrosaur or Regisaur Alpha. Both are pretty good. But playing the thing that they know and then making them think, oh, maybe they don't have any more creatures in hand because Carnage and Regisaur Alpha there aren't revealed, seems to make sense. And it's nice that we can use Topiary Stomper, but again, the potential of Settle the Wreckage, I could have attacked with Topiary. I wanted to leave it behind just due to that fact.
Run away.
So of course we could have done a little bit more damage here, unfortunately. And Topiary Stomper having Vigilance, Wandering Emperor can't exile it, although it certainly wouldn't exile it anyways. There are worse threats at the moment. Excuse me. Oh, there is the sweeper. Yeah, had to happen. They have plenty of them. They just got a new one with Supreme Verdict, and that's something I see almost daily, I would say. But we got Regisaurs charging. Man, this is just fantastic. Certainly taking out the Wandering Emperor. Don't want that getting out of hand, making creatures, but overall, not much of a problem, usually. Still want to save Carnage Tyrant again, just if they have another sweeper in hand. Potentially could have gone Carnage Tyrant instead just to provide a nasty threat. Again, hopefully drawing out that settle if they have it. Attacking a little... settle. We will settle for 3 being exiled. This list in particular, I could maybe up the basic lands. I only have 6 in total. Usually when I run Topiary Stomper plus Thunderherd Migration, I like to up it to 8, just to maximize the hits. We have plenty of lands now anyways, but it's still nice to get that value from Settle the Wreckage whenever it does exile multiple things. But that's one less settle. One more less settle. Oh, getting scared. Ooh, back to 4, nuts. Let's go Topiary. Nothing to grab again, unfortunately, but... Oh. Well, of course I would like them to waste it on Topiary Stomper versus Charging. Of course it makes perfect sense. I'm still able to play Charging Monstrosaur with that fantastic ramp that we've done so far. Topiary Stomper is nasty enough. A 4/4 Vigilance with Haste is certainly something I can see them countering, but they certainly would have wanted to counter Charging Monstrosaur more than Topiary Stomper. Sunset Revelry, that's not quite going to save you. Oh, we gotta go Marauding, Hasty, Charging, Carnage, Hasty, Carnity. This is a carnival of destruction right here. Dead as a doorknob. Ooh. Bam. Look at all that trample. Not a ton of trample, but they cannot save themselves. Just a little bit over lethal. Perfect. Fantastic. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, and definitely look forward to the next in this streak. They are good. All right. Always room for improvement, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.